Let's focus on Haliburton for now. In this postseason, Tyrese Haliburton is now 4 for 4 when attempting a game-tying or go-ahead shot in the final 5 seconds of regulation or overtime. 4 for 4. All right, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
The rest of the NBA, all the other players in the NBA in this postseason, in those situations, are 3 of 16. The rest of the NBA, 3 of 16 on those shots in this postseason. Tyrese Haliburton is 4-4. Awesome. And the Pacers are now 7-2 on the road this postseason. They're 3-0 in game ones on the road. They won game 1 in Cleveland. They won game 1 in New York. They just won game 1 in Oklahoma City. And they have now, the Pacers, come back from down 15 or more 5 times in this postseason. And that is the most such comebacks in a single postseason in what is regularly referred to as the play-by-play era of the NBA, which dates all the way back to 1997. Nobody, quite literally nobody, has ever done what we're watching the Pacers do. And there is a lot of stuff that Tyrese Haliburton is doing that is either very rare or actually unprecedented. From a team perspective, going down 15 again on the road to the best team in the world, the best defensive team in the world. How do you explain what they're doing?
Dude, Ramona Shelburne had a good article today just talking about like his kind of comeback because you remember he was on his ascension a couple seasons ago, and then he had the injury, and then last year they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and he's kind of made this like mini comeback, right? And now he's just like, without question, a star in the league. Like that's not even debatable.
Like
anymore.
I'm done with that.
Yeah,
like, is he really a star? Like my wife knows who he is. All right. That's where we're at. You cannot follow sports in this country even a little bit right now, without being aware of Tyrese Haliburton.
Right.
That star stuff. Like you guys can debate it over here if you want to. I'm uninterested in it. My kids are out in the front yard trying to do Haliburton shots. My wife is familiar with Tyrese Haliburton.
Yep.
When we reach a point where my kids are impersonating you and my wife is aware of you and you play in Indianapolis, Indiana, you're a superstar.
But like he's been doing that kind of stuff all season. I mean, she said in that story, he's 13 of 15 this season on game tying or game winning shots within the final 2 minutes of a game. 13 of 15. That's pretty insane, dude. We talked about how they had a great second half of the season, but he's just on this wild run. I think doesn't help. You mentioned the superstar thing. He's got the backing of Caitlin Clark. That helps a little bit. He debuted the sneakers last night. Like, it's just there's all kinds of good stuff attached to this.
He's doing it. And what's interesting about him, a lot of stuff interesting about him, but among the things is he has this incredible swagger on the court, and we'll talk to you about it and show it to you and choke sign you, all that stuff. But then he sits down to talk to Lisa Salters or Scott Van Pelt, and he just almost changes demeanor. He's very calm. He's very respectful. He seems reasonable. You can talk to him. You can even ask him real questions, tough questions, and he'll acknowledge they're coming from a good place or they're fair. Like Scott Van Pelt last night in the post-game stuff was like, hey, as you know, I was late to the party on this. He's like, yeah, you were. But I understand, we were late to the party too. We didn't start playing too well till around January. He feels like somebody you could talk to, And he's just doing it. He's just absolutely doing it. And from a team perspective, they're doing it. And I don't subscribe to this at all. It sounds silly to me because just logically it doesn't make any sense. But this is a real story Brian Windhorst told last night post-game. Said he was talking to a Pacers staffer. He wasn't specific. But a Pacers staffer pregame. And it's one of those things like, so how you feel about tonight? What do you think? And, sort of off the record. But they're like, hey, listen. We know we're double-digit underdogs. We know they're great. Obviously concerned with them turning us over. And, buddy, they turned them over a lot in the first half. But uncharacteristically, OKC did not get points off these turnovers. Like the Pacers were turning it over and recovering as opposed to turning it over and giving up dunks and layups. And so that was quite literally the way they were able to stay in the game to the extent that they stayed in the game. Like going down 15 could have been 23 if OKC's just getting out and scoring off these turnovers the way they normally do, but they weren't able to do it. So it was a tighter game at the half than it should have been, tighter game throughout than it should have been. But the Stafford tells Windhorst, like, listen, we're concerned about all the stuff you would think we'd be concerned about. But if we can get it to the fourth quarter, and I don't even mean get it to the fourth quarter and we're up. I mean just stay in the game. Just stay in the game. We're down 6 with 5 to go. We're down 8 with 4 to go. They were actually down 9 with less than 3 to go. I bet that wasn't the plan. But it was like, just keep us in the game. And I don't care if we're down 2 possessions, 3 possessions, final few minutes. We are comfortable in that, and I don't think they are. We're comfortable in that, and I don't think they are. They are so used to beating people by 20, 30, 40, 50. They are so used to being up 16 late that if we can make it a game that is more suited for what we're used to than what they're used to, we don't have many advantages in this building on this night, but we might have an advantage in that situation. 3 minutes to go. This game is still up for grabs. How you feel about it? We feel fine. We've done this before. We won game 1 in Cleveland. We won game 1 in New York. We've been down 15 4 other times in these playoffs. We're comfortable with this. That scoreboard doesn't bother us at all. We play into the end, and it tends to work out for us. How you feel right now? How you feel? You were up 15. Now it's down to 9. How you feel right now? Get us to that moment, and that's where we'll have the advantage. Now, I don't think that's a good strategy going into a game to try to be down in the fourth. I always want to be up in the fourth. But it is undeniable that some semblance of that was evident in the final minutes. And it's almost like they lull you to sleep and then get you when you think this was over. And they've done it multiple times. And this is not a normal or, I think, smart strategy. I don't even think it's an actual strategy. I don't think they're trying to get down 9 points in the fourth with less than 3 to play so they can storm back. That's silly. There are sports where lulling people, I can't say the word. Lulling, why can't I speak?
Yeah, that's weird. Lulling.
Thank you. There are words like that.
Lulling.
I can't say growing. I can't say that word. Like a growing injury.
What are you saying? Growing? Like growing up?
I get caught up in these words. That might surprise you as a professional speaker.
Yeah.
But there's little words I get caught up on. So like in boxing, rope-a-dope, that might be a strategy.
Yeah, I got you.
All right?
Yeah.
We're going to play from behind, let them tire themselves out, and then we'll boom, we'll jump on them. Like famously, that's Muhammad Ali. On a lesser note, it's Floyd Mayweather against Conor McGregor. If you go back and watch that, he just let him swing, never touch him, tire out. I can take him out at any point. I'll take him out now. All right? I gather in horse racing. I don't follow horse racing, but I gather in horse racing there's a strategy to just hang back, go. Like that's a strategy in horse racing. You might not. I'm not a jockey, even though I'm the same size as some. But there is a strategy in horse racing where it's like you don't want to lead from start to finish. A basketball game, I'd love to lead from start to finish. A baseball game, I'd love to lead from start to finish. NFL game, I'd love to lead from start to finish. In boxing, maybe not necessary. Horse racing, maybe not necessary. And somehow the Pacers have taken that strategy, the rope-a-dope strategy, and implemented it. Do you remember the night Aaron Nesmith went nuts, hit all those threes in the fourth? What did I tell you? You could actually find the clip from the Grind City Media Camp. I said, I'm just sitting there. I'm just assuming the game's over. I've got my computer open, and I'm just like working on tomorrow morning's show. This game is over. I've been watching every bounce, but now it's over. And then I hear, don't see because I'm not watching. Aaron Nesmith for 3. Okay. That's neat. Nesmith with another 3. Okay. This game's still over. It's Nesmith again. All right, now I need to look at this because I guess they're doing it. I guess they're back in it.
Yep.
And then boom, they win the game. Last night was the exact same thing. I mean, it might have been Nimhard instead of Nesmith making shot after, but you get the point. It was the same thing playing out. The game's over. I'm just going to let it play out, work on the show, and watch the postgame. The game's over. And I'm really just looking at the computer more than the television, typing more than watching, and then I hear it. Mike Breen, And here's a bucket, and now it's down to 6, and now it's down to 3, and it's a one-possession game, and now they need a stop. The MVP pull up. No, Pacers going the other way with a chance to – here we go again. What? And then he just delivers. He just delivers.
Yeah, I mean, they're just – the way that they shoot from 3, like they're always going to be able to be back. It kind of reminds you of like the Warriors back in the day. Like they're always going to be able to get back into games. Well, or at least they can close a gap quicker than most teams. Like everyone on their team last night outside of Benedict Mathurin hit a 3.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. Like the Morse twins are now on ESPN often. And all due respect, they got a ways to go before they get comfortable in that setting. But I enjoy listening to people who are on the court with these teams. Like that's just a perspective I can't provide. I've never been on a court with the Pacers, but these guys have. And I guess it was Markieff Morris was like, they're very difficult to guard because everybody on the court can shoot. And that is why Oklahoma City made a lineup change even before game 1.
Yeah.
It's because you can't play 2 bigs against them. They'll just spread you out and bury you. So they tried to go small, but then that cost Oklahoma City something in the front court. But either way, like this thing that wasn't talked about big picture in the NBA throughout the season because we're too focused on the Lakers and Luka and whether Kevin Durant's going to get traded and all the stuff we typically care about in the NBA. Like it is one of the weird, unusual things about the NBA is like we don't talk about the basketball a lot. And I don't mean you and I mean like on television. They don't talk about the basketball a lot. They talk about, would this guy be a good fit in this place if they made a trade? And it's a lot of those. And we have those conversations too, and we'll have one in a minute. But they don't talk a lot about the basketball. But we have now reached the point where there's so much time to fill, and there's only one game. And you got to talk about it for an hour this morning. And so they're talking about the basketball. And what you're starting to hear basketball people say when they talk about the basketball is that the Pacers might have been off your radar, but if you were really watching or if you've been on the court with them, they can be very difficult to deal with. Not from the beginning of the season all the way through, but they got to a point where they were obviously very difficult to deal with. And now they're playing with a lot of confidence. They've got a superstar delivering in ways that even traditional superstars that we wouldn't even debate whether they deserve that label or not, don't deliver like this. I mean, you think they do. Your memories are that Michael Jordan never missed a shot at the buzzer, but he did. Your memories are that Kobe would never miss this shot, but he did. Haliburton's not missing these shots. He's making them without exception.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.